Thank you, Mr. President. The Philippines thanks your excellent leadership and with your team, the extensive and inclusive consultations that were held to bring us to where we are today, the UAE consensus. The Philippines commends the key milestones achieved here at COP28 on the operationalization of the Loss and Damage Fund and the Santiago Network. The Philippines, as a high-risk and climate-vulnerable country, is pleased to have secured a seat in the inaugural Loss and Damage Fund Board representing the Asia-Pacific Group. As already announced by our President, we are offering to host the L&D Fund Board. Mr. President, we strongly support your initiative on Youth Climate Champion. We recognize the utmost importance of our young people with their diverse backgrounds and circumstances and the key roles they play in developing, prioritizing, and adopting ecological initiatives. On the decisions we have adopted, the Philippines notes with concern that the global stocktake did not result in a stronger outcome on matters relating to equity and CBDR-RC. That the GGA lacks explicit reference to CBDR-RC and the mobility and displacement issues, while further noting that the decision text nevertheless refers to national circumstances. We called for a standing agenda item on loss and damage for SBs, the CMA, and COP. This was not included, but we note and receive well the President's assurance that this will be taken up as part of the existing agenda items on the whim. On para 28, we reiterate that nothing in this decision diminishes the existing obligation of developed countries under the Convention and its Paris Agreement, and does not impose conditionalities upon developing countries to access MOIs. On mitigation, the findings of the IPCC AR6 synthesis report has not served as a wake-up call for our current climate actions to be more ambitious to keep 1.5 alive for us to thrive and survive. On the other side of the coin, we are very pleased to see on the GST and the GGA the nexus of biodiversity and climate action. The firm commitment to use best available science, but underscoring that safeguards are in place for the conservation and protection of the environment. The adoption of the Just Transition Work Program, ensuring that transition is equitable and inclusive while minimizing the negative impacts on workers, communities, and vulnerable groups. The transition to a negotiating work modality to set the NCQG and enhance ways forward on scaling up adaptation finance to support the evolving needs of developing countries. And on Article 6, the continued consideration of emissions avoidance as an eligible activity under this article. Congratulations to Azerbaijan and Brazil, our hosts for COP28 and COP29. Thank you again. COP29 and COP30. Thank you again to the President and UAE for the exceptional and generous hosting. The full version of our statement will be submitted. Thank you, Mr. President.